We have to go on a trip to that beach. It looks absolutely beautiful, and we could fly there on an airplane.
Tiki, plan our trip for next month, book the hotel, and buy the plane tickets.
The trip plan for next month is ready. The hotel is booked, and the plane tickets have been purchased.
So for the last couple of years, we've kind of gotten used to AI as this thing you talk to, right? A clever chatbot that can, write an email for you or sum up a long article. But we're at a brand new turning point. We're going to dig into this huge shift where AI stops just answering our questions and starts actually doing our work. And this quote really sets the stage. NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang, he dropped this powerful line, and trust me, it is a big deal. He's basically saying we've hit a moment that could change, well, everything. But what does that even mean? What is an agentic inflection point for you, for me, for businesses?
Okay, so to really get where we're going, we got to look back at where we've been, because this isn't just some small update. A lot of people are calling this the third great wave of modern AI.
And this progression is absolutely crucial to understand. So first, we got generative AI. That's the AI that creates stuff. Then we got reasoning AI, the one that could actually think through problems. But this third wave, this agentic AI, it's a whole different ballgame. It is all about taking action.
Right, from answering to acting. This is the core idea we're diving into today. Think of it like this. It's the difference between having a research assistant and having a full-blown project manager. One hands you a pile of information, the other one just gets the job done.
And that distinction seems simple, but it's profound. For years, AI has been this answer machine. You ask a question, it writes something back. But an agentic AI? It doesn't sit around waiting for your next prompt. It takes that initial answer and immediately starts knocking out the next 10 steps on its own.
So what does that actually look like? Well, here are some perfect examples. We're not talking about just one action, it's a whole chain of them. An agent can, say, read an email from your boss, immediately check your calendar, pull the right sales file, compare a few vendors, build a whole spreadsheet with the data, and then shoot you a recommendation to approve. See? It's a full workflow, not just a single answer.
So why does this all matter? Why does it change everything? Because this is way more than just a cool new tech feature. The moment AI can actually act, it unleashes these massive economic consequences. And that is what gets companies to open up their wallets in a big, big way.
And this quote just nails it. Look, companies don't spend billions just because a chatbot sounds clever. That's not how it works. They spend money, real money, when a technology can replace steps in a process, save them labor costs, and actually increase their output. That is when the budgets move. That's the moment this whole story shifts from being about cool tech to being about cold, hard economics.
And when that kind of money starts flowing, guess what? It doesn't just go to a few software developers. No way. It has to build the massive physical foundation that all this new AI activity is going to run on. And this, my friends, is where the story gets really interesting.
Seriously, think about it for a second. If you have thousands of companies unleashing fleets of these AI agents, and they're all working 24/7, the demand for raw computing power doesn't just creep up, it explodes. So who are the real winners in that scenario? It's not just the people making the cool new apps.
The real winners are the companies that build the backbone of this whole digital world. We're talking about the chip makers, the ones designing the brains. The networking suppliers, connecting everything. The memory providers, the server manufacturers. Even the utility and power companies. And of course, the people running the giant data centers to house all this stuff.
Which brings us to this really key concept, a term from NVIDIA, the AI factory. Now, this is not your average data center, not at all. This is a facility that is purpose-built, engineered from the ground up for one single job, to produce intelligence at an industrial scale. It's a total shift in thinking, from just processing data to actually manufacturing AI like a utility.
In this chart, it shows you exactly why those factories are going to be necessary. The amount of computing power it takes for you or me to type a prompt into a chatbot, it's pretty small. But the demand from fleets of AI agents running complex tasks all day, every day, that demand is, well, it's exponentially higher. We're talking about a completely different scale of operation. Okay, but let's hit the brakes for a second. A reality check is definitely in order here. Before we get too carried away, it's really important to remember that this future isn't happening tomorrow. there's still some pretty big hurdles to get over.
Because, let's be real, a flashy demo is one thing. A reliable product that you can trust with your company's finances or your customers' private data, that's another thing entirely. These systems still need to get a lot better when it comes to accuracy, security, and just basic reliability. We need to build strong guardrails to make sure that these AI agents aren't just creating a whole new set of headaches for us to deal with.
So when you boil it all down, the big takeaway is that the center of gravity is moving. We started with an AI that just talks, then we got an AI that thinks, and now we've arrived at the very beginning of an AI that acts.
And that is the real headline here. This isn't a story about AI getting a little bit smarter. It's about AI becoming economically useful in a completely new way, a way that directly hits things like labor, workflows, and bottom-line economic output. And that's exactly why the whole conversation is shifting, away from just a tech cycle and towards a massive capital spending and infrastructure cycle.
So I'll just leave you with this final question to chew on. If this huge shift from AI answering to AI acting is really happening, are we standing at the very beginning of the next great infrastructure boom? Are we watching the first sparks of a whole new industrial revolution, one built not on steam and steel, but on silicon and electricity, powering an entire generation of digital workers?